Saints Peter and Paul Roman Catholic Church is celebrating its 117th anniversary this year 2022. It is believed to be the only church in the state to be named after two saints. Catholics here attested that the church could be the only church in the nation to bear the name of two saints. Some believe that the name of the church was determined by the founder of the church, the early missionaries whose were said to be always side by side in evangelizing during early days of Christianity, and decided to name the church after for their togetherness in spreading the good news. Now, the name Saints Peter and Paul Church has blended well with the hearts of the peoples of this district and beyond.
History of Saints Peter and Paul's Parish, Mukah. During the time of Monsignor Edmund Dunn in the early 1880s, a small Catholic mission was set up in Coot River, between the Egan and Oya rivers, where the inhabitants were predominantly Melanos. The mission was then looked after by Father Bernard Mulder with the assistance of some religious sisters. The mission was later moved to Dalat for practical reasons. Father Bernard Mulder went to Mukah in 1904 to look for a site for a mission house and school. A site adjoining the present RC Cemetery was found. On January 1, 1905, the mission center and its school was opened by Reverend Father Aloysius Stoddard, and Father Weber was appointed to take charge. In the same year, Father H. Jansen and Father B. Mulder were appointed to the new Mukah mission. 2 years later, Father B. Mulder's own brother, Father Anthony, arrived from Holland. Father Anthony was a real pioneer of this mission, where he spent 44 years of his life. It was Father Anthony who acquired an additional 20 acres of land for the mission. In 1910, Brother Simon planned and constructed a more permanent mission house cum school. This was the Sacred Heart School, which later became known as St. Patrick's School. At about the same time, Father C. Keat was posted to Mukah to assist Father Anthony. Later, Father Keat found his way to Kampung Telian, where he built a small house on the site of the present chapel. He was a jack of all trades. He taught the boys cooking, carpentry, and tailoring. Up to 1916, the mission school only catered for the boys. The girls not forgotten altogether, though. In October 1916, the first wing of the girls' school, the future convent for the Mukah mission, was put up. The construction of the main building began on August 20, 1919, and it was undertaken by Brother Simon. The school was dedicated to St. Anthony and was initially run by one Francisca Bibi. A few years later, Sisters Alphonsus and Claire arrived in Mukah to take over the running of the convent school. A more permanent church was also built by Brother Simon with the assistance of Mr. Joseph Boo. The church was dedicated to Saints Peter and Paul on February 9, 1918 by Monsignor Edmund Dunn. The mission grew steadily. Father C. Quadecker replaced the old building with larger and stronger ones. Then came the Japanese occupation, when almost all the European priests were interned. The mission was devastated. The mission school was burnt down on July 18, 1945. In the final days of the war, Mukah was bombed by the Australian Air Force, and the entire bazaar and most of the mission buildings were destroyed. Although the church was not hit, it was, nevertheless, in a bad state of repair when the war ended. Father Anthony Mulder's health deteriorated due to the bad treatment he received during his internment. He had to leave for his homeland after giving 44 years of dedicated service to the Mukah mission. He died on October 10, 1965, at the age 88. Father Ari Mack took over from Father Anthony and, together with Father W. Boone, undertook the onerous task of restoring and rebuilding the Mukah mission. This work was continued by Father Leopold van Ruyen between 1949 and 1954. Father Leopold was succeeded by Father Dominic Murin. Soon afterwards, Father Alphonsus Joly J. was appointed rector. He is affectionately remembered by many for his talents in the field of languages, music, teaching and mechanics. On December 1964, the whole of Mukah rejoiced in the ordination of Reverend Father Lawrence Chua, the first Sarawak-born priest to be ordained. Father Chua, from Mukah, is the son of the late Mr. William Chua, who was well known for his service to the church. In recognition of his service, the late Mr. Chua was honored, together with Mr. Paul Toyad, also of Mukah, by the Holy Father with the Pro Ecclesiate du Pontifice Award. In December 1967, Father Gerard Jansen completed the building of the new church, which was reputed to be one of the finest churches in Sarawak. In July 1975, Saints Peter and Paul Parish celebrated its 70th anniversary of its founding with great jubilation. Father Lawrence Chua, then the Archbishop's delegate, was the principal celebrant in the solemn Mass. Reverend Father Henry Wallenberg took over as rector of Mukah Mission in 1968. After serving in Mukah for 25 years, Reverend Father Henry, the last Mill Hill priest in the parish, left Mukah for Holland in 1992. He is remembered for his talent in mastering the Melanau language. Local priests who had served in the parish were Reverend Father Anthony Lamb, Reverend Father Joseph Sebastian, Dalat District, Reverend Father Michael Lee, Cebu, and Reverend Father Andrew Tan, Dalat District. Reverend Michael Lee came back to the Sumai town in 2006, and followed by Reverend Father Joseph Sebastian, also made it came back since 9 years ago until now. The church have 2 weekly masses, namely, Sunset Mass at 6:30 p.m., conducted in English, and Sunday Mass, Bahasa Malaysia, at 8 a.m., except for the last 2 years due to pandemic COVID-19. Saints Peter and Paul Church of Mukah celebrated its centenary celebration in June 2005, and thus had a long history in the Sumai town, which poises to transform into smart city in the future.